G'day everyone, Artist Wayne here, and it's the long weekend. 2 awesome days of riding. That's right, I was riding with my mate, Dusty Taylor. That man who's as mad as I am. The guy who creates and organises some awesome adventure rides. And we were exploring the trails around Mount Sugarloaf. Dusty and I met at Morisset for breakfast before hitting some monster hills. The kind of rutted, gnarly, snotty hills that make your arms 2 inches longer. I was holding onto the DR for dear life. And I got to do some more riding of Dusty's KTM 525 EXC. Seeing as the last time I rode it, my ride was cut short when wife Jackie stacked her little Yamaha and ruptured her ACL. We got to check out some ancient alien rock carvings hidden deep within the forest and beautiful vast lookouts that stretch on for miles. But most of the morning was spent riding the nasty muddy trails of Mount Sugarloaf. Mount Sugarloaf is in the Lower Hunter region of New South Wales, Australia. It overlooks the cities of Newcastle, Lake Macquarie, Cessnock and Maitland. And when we were finished in there, we headed into the Waddingon State Forest for hours and hours of single trail fun. The weather was absolutely magnificent. Our days are getting hotter here now, so we were working hard. We were only halfway into our day, and I was starting to feel it. You know that point where you get so exhausted you couldn't be bothered trying to hold your bike up, so you just drop it where it is so you can have a rest. But our rests were few and far between because we had more single trails to ride and they were about to get a whole lot harder. I did mention Dusty and I were mad, didn't I? Most people do the hard stuff in the morning and kind of take it easy in the afternoon. We, however, like to do the hard stuff in the morning and leave the even harder stuff for later in the day. It gives us something to look forward to. It was an hour later when I suggested to Dusty I'd like to show him a place that I call the land that time forgot. And as I rode past him here, I could hear him saying, "Are you sure about this, Wayne?" My reply was, "Of course I am, Dusty. The last time I came down here I was on my own, so you and I will be able to help each other come back up if we can't find a way out." I'm not sure if I told Dusty the last time I came down and made my way back up that I thought I was going to have a heart attack. That part of the story may have slipped my mind. But that didn't matter now. We were on our way down and I was hoping that we could continue on and make our way out without turning around and going back. We finally came to the huge Okefenokee swamp. This is where Dusty turned his bike around and said, "Nope, I'm out of here. You can have this place to yourself." But I coaxed him back. I promised him we'd gotten through the hardest part. It was all easy sailing from here. Well, that is until we got through the next big swamp and the one after that. But who's counting? Adventure riding. It can give you such highs and lows. No, it doesn't. I'm just kidding. Just taking a breather because I was absolutely stuffed. We couldn't continue on. We turned around and had to make our way back up the mountain. Up past empty, rotting four-wheel drives, still full of human remains, poor families that never made it back out. Take note, all you people from overseas, welcome to the Australian bush. If you can make it out of a place like this, you're one of the lucky ones. It was here that Dusty suggested I ride his KTM through this gnarly terrain to see how it goes, and I certainly was not going to argue. It was still no easy task. I had not eaten since breakfast and I was running on fumes. There were, however, a few moments when I thought I, along with Dusty's KTM, were going over the edge. But we both made it all the way out. If that wasn't enough for the day, we went and had something to eat, and then I took Dusty into the Arimba State Forest for some more single trail fun. It had been one hell of an epic day, and I was already looking forward to the following one. Yeah, baby, there's nothing like having a good night's sleep and getting back into it early the next day. And today was even hotter than yesterday. So when my DR and I see water, we go in for a little dip to cool off. And look, here's a couple of stills from Dusty's camera. I must have run over one of our small Aussie reptiles. I told you, riding in Australia, it's an adventure. Today I was riding with Dusty again, along with my mates Marcus on his 800 BMW, Stevo, aka Mr. Kicker-Brig-Along on his 990 KTM, and Bushy on his big 1200 KTM. We'd all met at Laguna for a coffee and some breakfast before heading into the Yengo National Park. That's where Stevo took us all to look at some wonderful indigenous rock art hidden away off one of the main trails. After that, we made our way over to the Putty Road, where we headed south and had lunch at the Grey Gum Cafe. After lunch, we left the Grey Gum Cafe and we were now exploring new trails. Dusty Taylor was doing some recon for a future ride. One of these tracks was gated, so we made a detour. We actually travelled through some very, very pretty farmland. And at that time of the afternoon, it was chock-a-block full of grazing kangaroos and wallabies. We were now travelling on Baker's Road, which would connect us to three ways. From there, we'd be able to make our way onto the Commission Road. It's a beautiful stretch of dirt road that can take you from the Putty Road all the way to Jerry's Plains, and along the way it connects to the Bulga Trail and the California Trail. You travel through some very pretty, beautiful and rugged countryside. Soon we'd be connecting to the Commission Road, but we still had a lot of riding to do, and when we finally reached Putty Road we said farewell to our mate Bushy, and Dusty, Steve, Marcus and I hit Yengo National Park. It's also where Steve and Dusty swapped bikes. My mate Stevo, he's about 6'6", 6'7", and he made Dusty's KTM look like a little toy. And while we're talking about my mate Stevo, he also has a great fascination in yowies. Never stops talking about them. Anyway, the four of us continued to take in the spectacular views as we immersed ourselves in the World Heritage listed wilderness that is Yengo National Park. How lucky are we? This is adventure riding in Australia, folks. This is our backyard.